Sairam students, hope all are doing fine. We are with our 10th standard English. We will continue with our 10th standard English. We have already done two lessons and two poems we have completed till 1.4. Now we will be going ahead with our next lesson. Yes. Now our next lesson which we are going to do is about a very great warrior. Yes. But before we begin with our lesson, I want you to identify the image which I'm going to show you. Yes, this image. Okay. Now, who is this person? Do you remember? Yes, of course. She's Jhansi ki Rani Lakshmi Bai. Yes. Now, she had struggled against the Britishers from getting freedom for her own region. Yes, of Jhansi, because the Britishers wanted to annex her kingdom to the British Empire. So she gave a strong fight against the Britishers. Now you must be wondering why Miss is telling us about Jhansi Ki Rani. What it has got to do with our lesson? It is very much related to the lesson which we are going to do. We are going to learn a lesson about another great warrior who is also a lady. Yes, but she doesn't belong to a country. She's from some other country. You will get to know to which country she belongs as we do the lesson. Okay. Now the only common thing between these two warriors is that they fought against the Britishers. Yes, Jhansi Ki Rani Lakshmi Bai, as well as the other warrior whom we are going to learn. Now, before we move ahead with our lesson, let's have a look at the frame sentences. Children, in your earlier sessions also I told you frame sentences, you will have words as well as we will be doing phrases also. Now, why phrases? Because in the exam you will be asked questions on frame sentence using the given phrase. So, why not have a practice of it, isn't it? So, moving ahead, frame sentences, we will begin with. Here is our frame sentences. The first word is blockhead. Blockhead means a person who doesn't understand anything, or you can call a stupid person. Okay. So the sentence framed over here is, being a blockhead, he doesn't know how to express his anger. Okay. Then we have the next word, have put fire into me. The teacher advised her student to put fire into her speech to get the desired result. So have put fire into me means to inspire somebody. You give a lot of confidence. You give a lot of inspiration. That means to have put fire into me. Then wash one's hands off. The meaning of this phrase means to wash off your responsibilities, to not to take any responsibility. So Harry has waited for long to wash his hands off the responsibility. Next, obstinately. Alex obstinately refused to consider the offer. Obstinately means in a very strange manner. So the sentence we have framed here is, Alex obstinately refused to consider the offer. The next one, wavering. The meaning of wavering means hesitatingly, to hesitate. The leader tried to convince his wavering colleagues. The meaning of wavering means hesitatingly. Fine, children. Over here we are done with our lesson with our frame sentences. Now we will be going ahead with our lesson. The name of our lesson is Joan of Arc. Yes, Joan of Arc was written by George Bernard Shaw. Let's have a look at about the author, what's going to be said. George Bernard Shaw was an Irish playwright and critic. He wrote more than 60 plays during his lifetime, including major works such as Man and Superman, that was in the year 1902, Pygmalion in 1912, and Saint Joan 1923. He was the leading dramatist of his time. He was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1925. So this is about the author who has written Joan of Arc, which was written. She's also known as Saint Joan. Joan is also known as Joan the Maid. Okay. Now, what is the lesson about? We'll have a look. Okay. The war fought between England and France from 1337 to 1453 has come to be known as the Hundred Years' War. Joan was a peasant girl born in Eastern France who led the French army to several victories during this war. This play begins at the time when all the northern France and some parts of southwest were under foreign control. The English controlled some parts and the Burgundians controlled the others. The city of New Orleans, one of the few remaining French cities, was held by the English. The year is 1429. Captain Robert de Baudricourt, a military officer, is seated at the table. His steward stands facing him. So the episode is taken from the year 1429, where Joan has led the French army, a peasant girl, a simple peasant girl who has led the French army towards many victories. Okay, and how we are going to see as to how she gets into the army of the French people, yes, of the French royalty. So how does she get into it? How does she convince Captain Robert, and who are they in support of her in her ambition of getting freedom for their country? Fine, let's move ahead. This lesson is basically in the form of a conversation, so we will have characters over here. Let's see. So over here we have Robert, Stewart, we have Polingue, and we have Joan. So the first dialogue of Robert. I told you to throw the girl out. You have 50 armed soldiers and dozens of strong servants to carry out my orders. Are they afraid of her? Stewart, no, sir. We are afraid of you. But she puts courage in us. She really doesn't seem to be afraid of anything. Perhaps you could frighten her, sir. Robert grimly. Perhaps. Where is she now? Down in the courtyard, sir. Robert goes to the window and asks the soldiers to send the girl up. The girl enters. She is a well built, strong country girl of 17 to 18 years. The squire's glare neither frightens her nor stops her. She speaks confidently. Joan, good morning, Captain Squire. You are to give me a horse and armor and some soldiers and send me to the Dauphin. Robert, this girl is mad. Why didn't you tell me so, you blockhead? Stewart, sir, do not anger her. Give her what she wants. Robert, I shall send you back to your father with orders to put you under lock and key. Joan, you think you will, Squire, but it won't happen that way. You said you would not see me, but here I am. Robert, so you are assuming that I'll give you what you want. Joan, yes, Squire. Continues busily. A horse will cost 16 francs. It is a big amount of money, but I can save it on the armor. I don't need beautiful armor made to my measure. I can find a soldier's armor that will fit me well enough. I shall not want many soldiers. The Dauphin will give me all I need to free Orleans. Robert was very shocked. To free Orleans? Joan, yes, Squire. 3 men will be enough for you to send with me. Polly and Jack have promised to come with me. Robert, you mean Monsieur de Poligny? Joan, yes, Squire Jack will come willingly. He is a very kind gentleman and gives me money to give to the poor. I think John Godsave will come, and Dick the archer and their servants, John of Honcourt and Julian. There will be no trouble for you, Squire. I have arranged it all. You have only to give the order. Robert to the steward. Is this true about Monsieur de Poligny? Steward. Yes, sir. And about Monsieur de Metz too. They both want to go with her. Robert goes to the window and shouts into the courtyard. Send Monsieur de Poligny to me, will you? He turns to Joan. Get out and wait in the yard. Joan, who's smiling brightly at him, right, Squire, and she goes out. Robert to the steward. Go with her. Stay within call and keep your eye on her. I shall have her up here again. The steward retreats hastily. Bertrand de Poligny, a French guard, enters, salutes, and stands waiting. She says, Robert, she says you, Jack, and Dick have offered to go with her. What for? Do you take her crazy idea of going to the Dauphin seriously? Poligny, there is something about her. It may be worth trying. Robert, oh, come on, Polly. Robert, She says you, Jack, and Dick have offered to go with her. What for? Do you take her crazy idea of going to the Dauphin seriously? Pauline, there is something about her. It may be worth trying. Robert, oh, come on, Polly. You must be out of your mind. Pauline, unmoved. What is wrong with it? The Dauphin is in Chinon, like a rat in a corner. Except that he won't fight. The English will take Orleans. He'll not be able to stop them. Robert, he beat the English the year before last at Montargis. I was with him. Pauline, but his men are cowed now. And now can't work miracles. And tell you that nothing can save our side now but a miracle. Robert, miracles are all right, Polly. The only difficulty about them is that they don't happen nowadays. Pauline, I used to think so. I am not so sure now. There is something about her. I think the girl herself is a bit of a miracle. Anyhow, this is our last chance. Let's see what she can do. Robert, wavering. You really think that? Pauline, turning towards Robert. Is there anything else left for us to think? Let's take a chance. Her words have put fire into me. Robert, giving up. View. You are as mad as she is. Pauline, obstinately. We want a few mad people now. See where the same ones have landed us? Robert, I feel like a fool. Still, if you feel sure. Pauline, I feel sure enough to take her to Chinon unless you stop me. Robert, do you think I ought to have another talk with her? Pauline goes to the window. Yes, Joan, come up. Joan enters. Pauline gravely, be seated, Joan. Robert, what is your name? Joan. They always call me Jenny in Lorraine. Here in France, I am Joan. The soldiers call me the maid. Robert, how old are you? Joan says, 17. So they tell me. It might be 19. I don't remember. Robert, I suppose you think raising a siege is as easy as chasing a cow out of a meadow. You think soldiering is anybody's job? Joan says, I don't think it can be very difficult if God is on your side. Robert, grimly, have you ever seen English soldiers fighting? Have you ever seen them plundering, burning, turning the countryside into a desert? Have you heard no tales of the prince who is the devil himself, or of the English king's father? Juven, you do not understand, Squire. Our soldiers are always beaten because they are fighting only to save their skins, and the shortest way to save your skin is to run away. But I will teach them all to fight for France. Then they will drive the soldiers before them like sheep. You and Polly will live to see the day when there will not be a single English soldier on the soil of France. Robert to Pauline. This may all be nonsense, Polly, but the troops might just be inspired by it, though nothing that we may say seems to put any fire into them. Even the Dauphin might believe it, and if she can put some fight into him, she can put it into anybody. Robert, turning to Joan. Now, you listen to me and don't cut in before I have time to think. Your orders are that you are to go to Chinon under the escort of this gentleman, three of his friends. Joan was radiant, clasping her hands. Oh, thank you, Squire. Pauline, how is she to get into the royal presence? Robert, I don't know. How did she get into my presence? I will send her to Chinon, and she can say I sent her. Then let come what may. I can do no more. Joan, and the dress? I may have a soldier's dress, Squire. Robert, take what you please. I wash my hands of it. Joan, wildly excited by her success. Come, Polly. She dashes out. Robert, shaking Pauline's hand. Goodbye, old man. I am taking a big chance. Few other men would have done it. But as you say, there is something about her. Pauline, yes, there is something about her. Goodbye. Okay, so we have finished reading the lesson over here. Now, what is this lesson talking about? See, this lesson is about where during the times in 1429 where the Britishers laid a siege to New Orleans, and the French wanted to raise the siege. Now they were fighting the Britishers, but were not that successful. Now here comes here comes Joan, who tries to ignite the fire to fight for the country amongst the soldiers, and she gets into contact with Pollingue and the steward as well, who take them to their commander Robert, who is unwilling to take her into the army. But somehow she has got the support of so many people, so many soldiers as well, that Robert is convinced to take her into the French army and try to see that if there is any miracle that she could bring about and save New Orleans. So at this in this conversation between these people, you can see that she's got the support of the steward, she has got support of Pauline, yes, the commander she's calling Polly. Then she has the support of Jack, she has the support of Monsieur de Metz, she has the support of the steward, Jack, Dick, John, God save, she has the support of John Honcourt as well. And she is also telling that their servants are also ready to help her. Okay. And she also brings it to the notice of Robert that the soldiers are fighting for to save their lives. Okay. Robert is telling that we are not being able to get a win. So Joan tells her that the only reason it is that the soldiers are trying to save their skins. We are trying to save their lives. They are not fighting for their country. Only thing is that they are fighting to save their lives. If they want to save their country, they need to sacrifice themselves. So Robert tells her that to drive the British away from French is not as easy as chasing the cow out of the meadow. Now, why is he telling her this? Because she is a peasant girl. She is the daughter of farmers. So he's trying to compare it that it's not easy as driving a cow out of the field. So then she says that you give me a chance, I will try to inspire them, and then you will see like how those soldiers will drive it will be as easy as chasing the sheep away. The soldiers, she's comparing the soldiers to the sheep, and then she's telling that you will be alive to see the day when there will not be any English soldier left on the French soil in their country. And all this scene gets it progresses, and Robert is compelled to take her into the French army. He's taking a big chance, and he's giving her the permission to go and meet Dauphin, who is in Chinon. Yes, Dauphin is the member of the royal family who had won earlier in the against the Britishers, but later couldn't, and as a result of it, he was hiding. He was hiding in Chinon. It is Chinon, which is pronounced as Chinon and not Chinon. It is Chinon. Okay, children. So accordingly, he's telling Pauline to escort her to the Dauphin and tell him that Robert has sent her. Whatever may happen, but you have to go and see if she can ignite the fire amongst Dauphin, and then if possible, a miracle can happen and which can save their country from the Britishers. Okay, so this is what the lesson is talking about. Now something else also of Joan. As I told you that Joan, she was a daughter of farmers. She was very passionate about her country. Yes, and she was only 17 to 18 years old when she joined the army of the French. But the thing is that she had led the soldiers to many victories against the Britishers. In the beginning, I had told you that this common that why I have compared her with Rani Lakshmi Bai. The same thing, Rani Lakshmi Bai fought against the Britishers. Over here, Joan of Arc, she fought against the Britishers to save New Orleans, to raise the siege which they had laid. Only thing is that here she was burnt alive. This girl, when she was burnt, she was 19 years old. She was burnt alive by the Britishers. Okay, this is the picture of Joan of Arc, Saint Joan, or the maid. Joan the maid also they used to call her, because they used to call her maid. The soldiers used to call her maid. In her hometown they used to call her Jenny, and Saint Joan also, because she had done a great work for the French. Okay, and this is the picture, okay, as to how she was burnt alive by the Britishers. Fine, she was held captive, and then later on she was burnt. Okay children, so this is the lesson. Now we'll be doing an activity here. Make the following sentences affirmative without change of the meaning. We have already done this transformation of sentences, so it's just a, so you can say, revision of what we had done. Over here we are going to change the sentences from negative to affirmative. Okay, so the first negative sentence, I am not sure now. We are not going to change the meaning, so the answer is I am sure now. Second, he will be unable to stop them is the answer for he will not be able to stop them. So your negative word that is not should get changed, and then the word able becomes unable. You have to add a prefix over there. Yes, you have learned in your earlier standards about the prefix. Sure, in the first sentence, sure becomes unsure, so that not goes away. Second sentence, able becomes unable. We have added the prefix over here, and that not is removed. So our sentence will be, he will be unable to stop them. Fine, children. Then the next two sentences, I don't remember. Yes, what's the opposite of remember? Forget. So I don't remember, I forget is the answer. Next, fourth one, I can do no more. I can do no more means he is only doing that much. So I can do only this much is the answer for the fourth sentence. These sentences are from the text what we have read, children. Then, sir, do not anger her. Sir, refrain from angering her is the answer here. Then, I shall not want many soldiers. I shall want only a few soldiers is the answer. Fine, children. So, these are the sentences which we have done or from transformation from negative to affirmative. Now, this is a homework which you will be doing. It is word formation. You have to do it in the tabular form only. So, the first one is given success, succeed, successful, successfully. Verb over here is given. Second one is given inspire, and accordingly you have to frame nouns. So you have to frame the adjective and adverb as well. Make it sure that you do it, and you have to do it in the form of a table given over here. Okay, children. Hope you have understood the lesson. We'll be back again with the second part of this lesson next time. So thank you. Saira.